Hey y'all, what's going on today? First, I want to apologize if I look like I just got hit by a train, just finished our morning training session. Those that do the workout, you'll understand why I look like this. For others, I apologize. Hopefully that doesn't affect the video too much. So today we're going to talk about a conversation or a talk that I was listening to the other day from a speaker that was talking about being original and being yourself and kind of adapting different things into your life. The speaker used a quote that at first I thought was kind of funny, but the more I got to thinking about it, really I applied it a lot to my own life and kind of got me thinking about things that has happened in my past. So I'm paraphrasing the quote a little bit on this. I don't remember exactly, but it was something along the lines of there are no cover bands in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Basically, you'll never find an imitation band in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're all original. They're all artists in their own right that created something of their own. And so at first I thought that was kind of funny, there's never going to be a cover band inside the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But the more I got thinking about it, the more it reminded me of something I went through a couple years ago that really kind of resonates, and I try to remind myself almost on a daily basis of. So a couple years ago, I think 2014, 13, I'm not sure exactly when it is, I was competing. We just went through the CrossFit Open. For those that don't know what the CrossFit Open is, it's a competition every single year that goes on. Basically, it's the first stage to qualify for regionals of the CrossFit Games, and then the regional level has a chance to compete in the CrossFit Games that you may have seen on ESPN. And so I qualified through the Open to compete at regionals. And so that year I worked my tail off. I was busting my butt. But one thing that I unfortunately allowed myself to do was get consumed by a lot of other athletes and kind of the things that they were doing and what was going on in their training. So what I was doing during that time frame is I'd go through my training, go through whatever I was doing for the day, and I was seeing amazing results. I was doing things that I have never done before up until that point as an athlete. But I would finish up my training session and then log on to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram maybe. I'm not a big social media guy, but I kind of check in, see what other athletes were doing. And so I would start by doing that, by little I'd start getting consumed by, so-and-so did this. So-and-so got this time on this workout. So-and-so just lifted this. I need to be doing these things, where once upon a time was like, oh, okay, give me inspiration, give me those things to kind of use on a daily basis. All of a sudden it was, I need to be doing that, so-and-so did this workout, I need to be doing this workout. I need to be doing 8 training sessions a day. I better be getting this time. I better be lifting this much. I better be doing all these things. And lo and behold, as I started going through that, the more I started doing that, the more bad habits I started creating. And all of a sudden, it wasn't me as an athlete going out and competing in my own right and doing my own training session and trying to achieve the things in my own side of things that I was trying to achieve. It was all of a sudden me basically trying to live in somebody else's shadow and letting that affect not only my training sessions, but it started to affect my life outside the gym as well. It started really affecting my relationship with my wife, Courtney. It started affecting my relationship with our athletes and coaches inside the gym. Unfortunately, for those athletes that were here during that time frame, we could talk to them and be like, yeah, Brandon was kind of a dick. He was kind of an ass during that time frame. It was, to be honest, it was one of those, oh great, Brandon was here to work out, wait till something erupts or something blows up. It really wasn't that fun to be around. And looking back on that time frame, I wasn't. Those that don't know, when I went qualified to compete that year, I actually pulled myself out of that competition because I hated training. I absolutely hated going to the gym every single day, because every time I came to the gym, my effort wasn't good enough. I could have hit a PR, lift, workout, whatever that may be, but it was not good enough because I was chasing somebody else and I was trying to live in the shadow of somebody else. And it wasn't until kind of I had to take that away from my life, and after a long discussion with my wife and everything else, understanding what was best for me, I didn't really know to appreciate, to look back at the things that I had accomplished to that point. You know, I was using all these other outlets from other athletes and other people to all of a sudden let it become my own identity and let me feel like whatever I was doing wasn't good enough. And so when I think about that quote, as far as there's never a cover band in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, is you have to be yourself. You have to be your own person. You have to be on your own journey. It doesn't mean you can't take, inspiration from other people in your life, whether that's business, whether that's family, whether that's fitness, whether that may be other aspirations you're trying to achieve in your life. There's nothing wrong with taking little bits and pieces from other people and trying to apply them and learn from them and make basically a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out of the different things that we learn from other people. But we have to be able to make your journey. Appreciate the things you have in your life, appreciate where you have come from, and appreciate the things that you're going to accomplish later on down the road. Don't be afraid to shine in your own shoes, and don't be afraid to take your own path. I think oftentimes, like myself, until I went through that, I never appreciated looking back on from the time I first started this to the things I do now. It gave me a whole different insight of learning to appreciate the process and appreciate the journey and not have to always worrying about so-and-so is this, because I'm never going to be so-and-so. I'm never going to be them, and they're never going to be me. There's a lot of things that they're never going to do that I can do, and at the same time, I'm never going to be able to do a lot of stuff that they can accomplish. But I can always strive along my own journey to get better as a person, get better as an athlete, get better as a husband, family member, brother, sister, son. I can always aspire to get better on those things, but it has to be my journey, and I have to be my own person and my own athlete and all those other things I'm trying to achieve. So that's what our discussion is today, you guys, is you're never going to be the greatest if you always try copying somebody else. Step out of a shadow if you're behind one. Allow yourself to take the risk, take the journey and the things that you need to go through. Work your butt off in the things you want to achieve, and you can absolutely do it. It's just you got to put in the time, appreciate where you've come from, and appreciate the things that you can aspire to in the long run. But we got to keep course. We got to stay consistent with that and keep it going. So that's what I'm coming with today, you guys. Be original, be yourself, take chances. We'll have this week going off for you again, gang. Let's keep it rolling. Bye, y'all.